I often hear these cheaper night vision and thermal optics referred to as just toys, and though I do agree that they can arguably justify their budget-friendly price tags through recreational value alone, I cannot agree with the assertion that these devices are good for nothing more than playing around with. Not only this, but what I offer you tonight is a realistic application for these products in a couple of emergency settings, even going so far as to describe a real-world tactical application. These two scenarios being establishment and use in a military-style LPOP, as well as a more broad perimeter security use. At the very least, I believe that these units are both better than having nothing at all and able to potentially put you at an advantage over an adversary who doesn't have such a capability. No, I am not a veteran or expert in tactics by any means, but this video is also not about the technicalities of constructing an LPOP or the tactics behind perimeter security. This work exists simply to introduce the idea to you of a couple of technologies that are generally obtainable to the masses and how they can in fact be looked at as a more serious tool rather than a toy. If you'd like more in-depth reviews of these products, then feel free to watch that content and more, which is all available on this channel with much more to come. Also, please don't forget to leave this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share, and even consider sending a financial contribution to paypal.me/don'tdodaylight. After all, what is an LPOP, or listening post observation post? Simply put, this term describes a location where some opposing force can be detected by eyes or ears and then reported on, all without being noticed or having to engage said adversary. For example, say that you notice a group of people walking up a road that directly leads to you and your group's home in a post-emergency situation. Rather than raising any alarm yourself, you can serve as an early warning system to your group by communicating this information to them without that potential enemy being aware that they've been spotted. One proven way to do this is called the salute report, in which you'd make sure to describe the threat's size, activity, location, unit identity, such as clothing or accessories that may be noteworthy, such as patches, time that the activity was recorded, and the scene equipment, such as tools and or weapons. Speaking of activity being recorded, I'd like to note here that both of these optics literally have the onboard ability to record whatever you're seeing. Though this isn't a necessity in establishing a successful LPOP or even delivering a worthwhile salute report, you may find this feature to be of value during such a situation, and given the attractive price points that we are dealing with, it certainly makes the deal a bit sweeter. More pertinent to this video though, we are focusing on not losing the OP part of LPOP even when the sun goes down, and seeing, if you may pardon the pun, how these cheap devices can afford you this value. One other way that this is the case is by the zoom feature, which both of these products have. Now, not only can you see better than you ever could with the unaided eye in the dark, but you can magnify your view at will and possibly get a more detailed view of your surroundings. To be clear, recording via a camera or a dedicated mission recorder as well as achieving a zoomed-in image is absolutely possible for those of us with high-quality night vision, but this comes at even more of a cost out of your pocket. The Infrared T2 Pro Thermal Imager and NVG10 Digital Night Vision Monocular that you have been seeing footage of both cost about $400, and you can easily spend that much money on just a recording and magnification setup for a PVS-14. Don't get me wrong, the cost is worth it, but if it's not obtainable with your budget, then these cheaper alternatives continue to prove themselves as assets. I do hope that you see the theme being established here. These serious roles where I see budget night vision and thermal optics being most valuable are ultimately ones where they are being used in a static position and from a point of undetected concealment where simple, yet highly valuable, observation is the main objective. This is mainly due to the lacking quality that you get in these units compared to their significantly more expensive counterparts on the market, which have been proven to be combat effective for a long time now. I believe that these cheaper products fit in an often unspoken of gray area where they are simultaneously not suitable for use during mobile activities more serious than the most basic of navigation due to latency, durability, reliability, quality overall, and mounting methods. Yet they remain more valuable than human eyesight in some specific static scenarios. Even between the thermal and night vision optics themselves, they each have advantages and disadvantages. As an example, what if you're in more of an urban or suburban environment and your LPOP happens to come in the form of hiding in plain sight, such as in a vehicle where you're just sitting and watching/listening for activity? Did you know that a thermal imager cannot see through glass? Well, this being the case would certainly make the digital night vision unit more valuable for you, as you can either head mount it or use it in its handheld form to quickly raise up to your eye and look clearly through the glass of your vehicle when needed. Also, and even in a more rural setting, if you intend to navigate to your listening post observation post while it's dark out, the night vision setup would be preferred over thermal for walking through the brush as well as performing light construction of the post, such as using a saw to eliminate branches that are in the way or digging a hole to use as a bathroom. Conversely, the thermal would likely be more valuable to you if the weather is particularly bad and the flaws in your cheaper night vision setup are becoming more apparent due to lack of moonlight and or heavy cloud coverage. These conditions would hardly affect a thermal device so long as you're within a reasonable distance of your observation area and there aren't outlying factors such as extremely heavy fog. Definitely use these devices in varying weather conditions so that you're familiar with how they perform and can apply that to any real-world situation where you are hopefully taking weather into account. The cool part about these cheaper price points is that it's not crazy to think that the average person can potentially afford both thermal and night vision at this level. Now, speaking about mounting systems, I'd like to also remind you that the Infrared T2 Pro can also be installed on a tripod. In such a static position where you don't have the unit mounted to your head, letting it rest on a tripod for a long duration of time may be advantageous. One area where these cheaper devices do fall behind the more expensive ones is in battery life. You can expect somewhere around 40 hours of life out of a single battery in a PVS-14, and being AA's, they can be rapidly exchanged as well. Depending on the device you choose to obtain in the cheaper category, it may come with a built-in battery that needs recharged and only lasts a few hours. I would steer clear of those options and certainly look at one such as the NVG10, which has replaceable and rechargeable 18650 batteries. This feature allows you to navigate around the issue of battery life by simply carrying more batteries and having the ability to easily swap them. An affiliate link will be provided below to where you can purchase your own NVG10 if you're interested. A device such as the Infrared T2 Pro is actually running off of your phone's battery power. Though both of these setups are extremely compact, the T2 Pro is especially so due to the fact that it doesn't even require space for a battery. To the contrary, this could also be a disadvantage for a couple of reasons. First, the usefulness of the device relies upon your phone's battery life, which may be decent given today's technology, but it will eventually run out and need recharged. Also, you can't use your phone while observing through the thermal app, which may be a negative at times, and you may not even want to have your phone with you at all depending on the situation that you are in. The use of your phone as a viewing screen for the thermal image can also produce a level of light backsplash depending on your phone and its settings. This can be diminished, but of course this comes at the cost of being able to clearly see your image due to lowering the brightness or installing a red filter over your screen. The NVG10 can see quite well in many situations while only using ambient light, though it does have the option of providing supplemental infrared lighting. Though this is a great option to have, it's noteworthy that these cheaper digital units do display a very faint yet noticeable red LED glow when pushing that supplemental light out, and you certainly would not want this happening if you're trying to stay concealed. All things considered, I completely understand how you can fall on either side of the "they're just toys" argument, but I feel that an educated person who understands the negatives of these units can implement them in ways that truly do make sense and more serious applications by taking advantage of the positives while keeping the downsides in mind. One main theme of this channel is to show night vision devices in ways other than running and gunning or even hunting. My name is Don't Do Daylight, and I am in fact a night vision enabler. I feel as though night vision and thermal technology is for you, even if you don't have access to a shooting range, aren't interested in hunting, and aren't of the high-speed tactical mindset. I absolutely agree with these uses and even find myself in those categories at times, but I like spreading the message that there are many other ways to use these technologies. My goal is to one day no longer hear somebody say, "So, I have night vision, now what?" If you believe that this video was a respectable contribution towards this goal, then again, please do share, subscribe, and thumbs up. Thank you very much, and always remember, don't have a good day, have a good night.